Alrighty, welcome to Hillside Harvest Homestead again. Today we're getting back out in our bees. It's been roughly approximately 2 weeks since we've been back, since we last looked at them. And today we're going to put these little, that swarm that we had caught, we're going to put it into a bigger box, and also this other little small nook, we're going to put it in a bigger box. And then check on this other one to make sure that they did have a laying queen and whether or not they need a super on it. So we have our supplies out here that we're going to be using today. And also, if y'all liking these videos, please like and subscribe. That'll help us out tremendously and just motivate us to make more videos and better videos. So hit that like button and hit that subscribe button over in your left hand corner of the screen. But first we'll get started with this small little white nook and go check it out. If you can probably notice it's real hazy in the distance. We have a large amount of forest fires in the neighboring states and some just right over the mountainside. So it's still pretty smoky out here. I do have my smoker going just in case I'm needing them. I'm just going to puff them just a little bit, but I don't want to overdo it since the air is already pretty smoky as it is. So let's get started. I mean, just by opening it up, it looks like the bees must have a laying queen, because the amount of time that they didn't have a laying queen, this box would probably have been dead by now. So, I'll just drop some bees in here. And we have like they have a laying queen. Either that or a laying worker. Okay, I do see the queen. She's right there. She is right there. See her? That's the queen right there running around. So she's been laying on this frame. Looks like she's starting to run out of space because she actually is laying extra eggs and cells. So we do have a laying queen. So I would just put that frame aside, set this box down, and come over here and grab a new bottom board. And what we'll do is we'll put these frames back in there the way we got them out of this little nook. Yeah, this box was about to go booming again. They don't really have that much storage, it don't look like. I mean, look at that brood pattern. She practically, all that right there is capped brood that she's laid within the last 2 weeks. On both sides of this frame. So their honey stores is really low because we are in a dry spell right now. But I am going to give them some honey so they can have something to feed all these eggs that are about, these young bees are about to hatch out. Alright guys. Might end up having to feed them more sugar syrup than I wanted to this year, since we're in such a dearth right now between the drought. I don't know how much of effect all this smoke is going to have on them. Trying to find stuff and being able to communicate. But this frame right here is pretty good and kept off with brood. This has eggs in it, so we got here at the right time. Alright, so what I'll do now is we had 5 frames in there, so I'll get the other 5 frames that have honey stores and just a little bit of space for the queen to lay, and we'll go ahead and throw those frames in there, put the top cover on and a lid, and we'll call these good. Just making sure I'm getting my spacing right on it. We got the inner cover right here we're going to put on them. And I have a lid on there. Disregard, I'm going to put this, it actually got painted wrong side. This is actually the inside and this is the outside, but it got vice versa painted when either I told the kids the wrong side to paint, or either they picked the wrong side. I don't know which one. So, and I am going to put an entrance reducer on these because we are in a dearth. So I want to put this entrance reducer on them to restrict the hose, so it'll help from keeping robbing down. Going to let them enter right here. I'm putting a wood. This bottom board was off a beehive that we had bought sometime last year, and apparently their spacing on it is a little narrower than what my entrance reducer is. So I'll just put that wood there. We got the hole covered up pretty good. It's not as wide as it was, so that should help out until their colony gets a little bit bigger. Because we got one massive colony over there. You know, if they wanted to, they could overtake this hive and just rob it out if they wanted to. So putting this entrance reducer on there will help keep this hive a little bit safer from being robbed out until all their brood hatches out and they can get a bigger colony. But anytime you're, especially during the dearth, and you're bringing out honey frames or syrup and all that, it's real important to make sure you keep a watch on your hives, because bringing out all these frames and then sugar water and stuff could cause robbing to occur, and that's just natural with the bees, you know, because they're looking for food, they're foraging, and they'll take what they can get to make sure their colony survives. So you need to make sure on these smaller colonies to make sure you equip them properly so that they have the best chances of surviving. So we'll jump over to this other hive and make sure they have a laying queen in it, and if we have to, we'll add a super onto it. So we'll jump over there and call these guys good and let them get used to this new box and orientate themselves to this different home. So let's jump on over to the other one. Just by looking down in here, they haven't yet really got up in the second box at all. So we'll just take that off and pull the frame out from down below. But you got to think, you know, these two hives right here are practically around about the same amount of time with queen laying. So I just put this box on it in the meantime because they had a whole lot more brood than the little one did at the time. So what we're looking for is a laying queen. We have some pollen. A little bit of nectar. Have some brood. Do we have the queen on this frame? She is laying. So now we have a queen. Just not on this frame. She's got a nice brood pattern going on though. I like that. Look at that, that's practically wall to wall. Do not see her on this frame. There's really not that many bees in here. So there's a lot of brood going to be hatched out. And the thing is, the queen can only lay as much as she has enough bees to tend to the brood. So until her colony starts building, there's only so much she can lay, because there's only so many bees that can tend to them and take care of them. Oh, there's our queen right there. Nice, fat looking, pretty girl. There she goes running. Alright. So what I'm actually going to do on this one is see if I can't find some frames that don't have anything in it, because she still has room to lay in them other ones. And what we'll do is grab the extra honey frames out of there and just move them down to this box right here for now, to shrink their space up some so they don't feel a little overwhelmed. This one does have pollen in it, so I'll leave that in there for her to use. This one has a bunch of pollen too in there. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll just leave it as it was. Because that population will start booming here in a little bit. So they will not need a super. We'll just put this bad boy on there, back on there. Make sure our frames are nice and tight together. Alright, so we're back at this hive right here. If you remember, this is the swarm that we had caught 2 weeks ago from one of my other hives. So we're going to jump in it. I'm pretty sure they're going to have some just some wild comb on the bottom of their box, due to this bottom being a little bit deeper than normal. So they probably drawn out some comb on the bottom of these frames that I'm going to have to deal with. But we'll get in there, make sure everything's going all right, and clean that up if need be, and give them a bigger brood box, give them more room and more frames, a couple of frames with honey, and then some for the queen to work on, if they have a queen. Now always make sure to check and make sure the queen is not up on your upper board. Your top lid or inner cover. So crush the bead. Ooh, look at that prettiness. That's pretty. Got all that capped honey and brood. Starting to work on this side just a little bit. So, knowing that they do have a laying queen and she's not on this frame, it does not appear to be, I will stick this frame to the side over here. And move their little box out of the way. And then we'll start putting these frames in there the way I got them out. That is some pretty. They've got this filled out with all with brood, a little capped honey and pollen. Looking real quick for the queen. Make sure she's in there. Which I doubt she is. Oh, there she actually is. There's our queen on this frame right here too. So she's probably looking for space to lay. And we're gonna give her some. And she's a pretty one too. This other side's completely filled with cat brood. A little bit of honey and pollen. These guys, even though they swarmed about the same time we did those boxes, they were actually a lot further along because their queen was actually most doubtfully bred when she swarmed. So she was further along than the other queens that were hatched out of the other hives. They still had, they're probably like a week or two behind her, or at least a week, because they still had to get bred. She's got a beautiful laying pattern though, I like it. I'm just hoping these smaller hives have the opportunity to grow before winter gets here. Well, we're late July, right? Well, almost the middle of July as it is, so you know, you'd rather these bees already be in 2 deep boxes by now, being up here in Montana. So if I have to, I'll feed them sugar syrup this fall. or if this drought keeps on like it is, I might end up having to start feeding them sooner than I want to. This old gal right here needs more space. Yep, all these frames practically have eggs on them, or either cat brood. So what I do now is grab these extra frames I have over here. This mostly has honey in it. Some of them have been, the bees actually found them in my garage. So we had a bunch of bees in our garage last week and had to get rid of them. So some of the frames they robbed a bunch of honey out of, but a lot of them they didn't get to. And I did not have a regular top cover for this, so they're going to get this nice fancy little solid panel, solid wood maple lid. So they're going uptown. All right. So, alright, so found out we have all the queens are laying on the ones we looked at last week. The swarm, the two other ones that had the cells in it, they both have laying queens in it. Right now it's just whether or not they'll be able to get enough honey for the winter and build up their colony. I'll probably have to step in and help out and start feeding sugar water at some point. And that's those three. So this next one right here is the one hive that's been booming on us. You know, it has 3 deeps on it already. We're going to go in and check the top deep, see if they've done filled that up with nectar, and if they have, we'll go ahead and throw another, an actual honey super on her. So we'll go look at that one right now. Alright, so this is the hive that is done the best so far out here in the bee yard. So I know they got a queen. I know she's laying. Right now it's just whether or not we need to add more space for them to put honey or brood. I'm not going to do a full inspection on these guys because it's hot out, it's muggy, it's smoky. Again, just making sure I don't have a queen on my inner cover. Alrighty, see what we got going on here. We'll pull one of these outside frames. I know they're not really doing anything with. See what they're doing on in the middle. Oops, sorry about that, dude. Girl. Now these have actually been some of the most docilest bees I've worked with. Haven't yet got stung this year. Knock on wood. I know it will come to a point where they will get aggressive on me. They are making some bridge comb up to this super. Well, we're calling it a super. It's actually a deep box, but okay. So we got a pile of bees down on this frame. I can feel. Yep, they're filling her up with nectar. You can see the shimmering in the frame, and that is nectar slash honey in the process. So at least they are starting to store honey up here. Like I said, this is the only box I'm probably going to get honey out of this year. And this, I nearly got this one completely filled with honey, nectar. So they're working on it. They got some on the next one practically capped. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and put that super on it, just in case, because we will be leaving here on vacation here in a little while. And just to make sure that if some reason we do get rain, these guys have a place to put in nectar that starts coming back in. Alright, so we'll put this little honey super on there. I mean, yeah, all the comb and this one that was put on here was drawn out. All the frames on this right here is drawn out. So all they need is just a really good flow, if we can get one. And it won't take them much time to fill them up. So we'll give them the space that they need just in case they need it. And we are done. So everything looks all right. At least we have laying queens. You know, it's just again getting these 3 smaller hives building up quick enough and get them enough stores for winter. And hopefully this one right here will give us some honey by the time before fall gets here. And so we can get this one's weight up too for winter. But if you like these videos, you know, if you have any questions or any suggestions that we could do to make things better for you, just leave it in the comment section, and just like and subscribe. You know, please hit that like button, and if you're a new viewer to this channel, you know, go back and check out our introductory video that my wife put out for us, and see what we're all about. You know, we're continuing to grow. It's fun, you know, it's hard, it's stressful at sometimes, especially when you're in a drought and you're trying to keep grass for everything alive. But yeah, check us out. Go watch our introductory video, and if you want us to, we'll make a new one. But like and subscribe, hit those buttons for us, and we'll see you next time.